Infections start in the nose. Don't let your family suffer. Protect them with Silver Labs nasal spray, your travel buddy that fights harmful germs, relieves nasal congestion, and clears sinuses and allergies fast. Give the gift of health with Silver Labs Daily Protective Shield. Whether you're traveling or staying home, choose Silver Lab for that peace of mind. Get Silver Labs nasal spray today at leading pharmacies, health shops, or retail outlets. Silver Lab nasal spray. Gentle on people, tough on germs.
Silver Lab Healthcare siphathela ke imveliso ezininzi ezilwisana nemikhuhlane ne-flu. The Silver Lab nasal spray assists with sinus support, post-nasal drip, and hay fever. It also helps to combat the inflammation associated with flu, common colds, and allergies. Sabulela ke kwabo kubo ungabafumana pha ku Silver Lab, www.silverlab.co.za. You can mabhalela email ku info@silverlab.co.za. You can matsalela umnxeba bafumaneka napha kwi-number yabo ekhona apha kwi-bottom of your screen. Number bandikutsholo wena mntu ubukele umameleyo. Inumber yabo ngu-083 450 212 083 450 212. Ngolo hlobo ke samkelana naye usomachiza wethu uLwanda Kamkhatshana. Lwanda, good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Sis Lhoza. Good morning to your listeners and streamers. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Siyabulela. Thank you so much for gracing us this morning. Somachiza, flu season and winter is officially here. And I'm wearing this because this morning was like, and I can feel it. It's close season. But you find out we cannot differentiate between flu, fever, influenza, common colds. And first, why is it not in a fever? Because let's start there. What is the difference between flu and fever?
Okay, so flu is the common cold. It's influenza. So flu is a short for influenza.
Yeah, if I can hope.
It's a viral infection that affects your chest and nose. So it will affect your nasal sinuses, it will affect your throat, it will affect your chest, depending. So it is symptomatic.
Sure.
Right? So, and the symptoms differ from one person to the next, but it stands in that it is a viral infection.
Sure.
Fever is a symptom of flu. It is a symptom of many other disease conditions. So fever is a high temperature. How do we measure high temperature? The normal body temperature is about 36.5, 37. If your temperature goes up to about 38.5, 39, then you have a fever.
Oh, okay.
High temperature.
So then it becomes fever.
Fever. That's fever. Fever is high temperature or pyrexia.
Please.
The patient is presenting with hyperpyrexia.
Yes. Okay. So symptoms
of influenza. Yes, because fever is not a disease condition. Fever is a symptom. It's like saying pain. Pain is a symptom. So fever is a symptom. Symptoms because I saw school.
Sure.
The only thing that is school is the common cold, influenza, or flu. There are many names that is Nikazon.
Okay.
Yeah. So the common cold symptoms: scratchy throat, runny or blocked nose, itchy eyes, a cough, high temperature or fever, malaise, or which is now being tired or feeling tired, you know.
Your whole body, you feel
sore muscles,
and it frustrates
general malaise.
Okay.
And then there is the cough. The cough can be dry, it can be wet. Yes, those are the symptoms of common cold.
Okay. When it doesn't get treated, because if for the past 2 days, your chest, ibuziva into yobana jonga isomile ukhohlela kabuhlungu and thuthuzi ngoku, so ngoma hey ayisivuthiwe ngoku, and xa utica ufumanisa uba ngoku you call it sputum, it's change of color, yonke loo nto leyo kwenzeka ntoni when it's not treated?
Yeah, so for most of the time, you can go without treating flu and you will be fine for most of the time. For some of the time, the flu will advance into a secondary stage where you now get an infection. You might get a throat infection that can be tonsillitis. You might get an ear infection. You might get a chest infection. Now, these are bacteria infections. They're no longer viral. So my sputum has a greenish color. When I blow my nose, I can see that the mucus is a bit green.
Sure.
I've got a pain in the ear. Maybe there's also some fluid that starts to come out of the ear, or it's just the pain. And if an ENT looks, they might find that there is otitis there, or which is the ear infection. Now here you have to use antibiotics.
Okay.
Right. So we said for most of the time you can go without treating it, but we do want to encourage people to treat even the smallest symptoms, because if you can treat those, then you increase the chance of it not becoming, not going into that secondary stage. So
Sure.
the earlier and
You
the
treat
sooner you treat it, the better. Maybe you did treat it, but the treatment didn't work. Then it goes into a secondary stage. You get these secondary infections, as tetanus, that chest infection, where people you must now go to a doctor. So at the first time, you could have just bought something over the counter from the pharmacy. When we get to the secondary phase, we antibiotics to clear these infections. This is very, very important. We are not treating the flu. There is no flu treatment. The first phase where you go to the pharmacy, you are treating your symptoms.
Okay. So you get your over-the-counter medication, or you visit
the pharmacy that I have flu, I want treatment. It's not enough. What are your symptoms? Because we must treat symptoms. There's no flu treatment. There's no, I've seen.
So like for instance now, and then my throat in the other is a bit scratchy, it's a bit so kind of see pharmacy kuwe or and this I'll check maybe a Silver Lab website. I must look for something to treat it. Okay, this and this is what I can use, the nasal spray or whatever. We're treating the symptoms.
Yeah, I love that. I love that patient. That patient who comes to me and says, hey, this is what I am feeling.
Sure.
This one who says, no, I have flu, give me something. Hey, we
are used to that. Rwanda, no. So please, we grew up like that. Okay, flu, and the last time,
that is not my fault. I'm telling
you as a pharmacist, I know what helped me. I know what my grandma used to. With the orange. They don't get an orange sticker. When I grew up, light, yellowish, but light. If you're not given that one, you specifically, you specify ndifuna think US manali ufuna lona because yazi ba Elias alalikela kunceda for generations phako kwenu khula ngayo. Ndinqona wabiza lekhona leligama ngoqala ngo-B. Ufuna lona ekhona nelinye oqoma okay no V ufuna yona izakuncedisa. So we grew up like that, and now when my son is sick now ndifuna lando. That is why it's like we're saying to this pharmacist mamela ke Lwanda Mkhatshana as a pharmacist ndifuna le because ndine fever. It's because we know by igniting.
Very interesting, how people think. So if you put glue on your hands, have you noticed that it doesn't stick? Your hands don't stick from glue. Yeah, you can it doesn't matter if you hold it.
Yeah.
It can be very easy. Even if you had a paint or ink on your hands, you can always wash it off. Why do you think that if you put honey in your throat or this particular medicine, it's just going to stay there? Yeah, it's got this oil and then that area and stay there. Why do you think like that? yona izawuhlala nje ayizuya but very very interesting those expectations. Anyway, enough of the silliness. What we want to explain is that there is no flu treatment. Explain your symptoms, because now you are going to be sold things you don't need.
Okay.
I do have flu, but I don't have a cough. I only have the nasal symptoms. But now you're being sold a cough mixture for 100 rand. You're being sold something to help with the phlegm for 200 rand. I don't have issues with phlegm and cough. I only have the sinus. So just buy that one.
Okay.
So people are saying medication is expensive, blah, 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 blah. You are partly to blame, because you will get there and you want to buy everything. Treat the symptoms, treat what you are feeling at the time, okay? And then we go to the secondary phase. I'm saying that people will get antibiotics. Again, don't jump to say, I know now when I get flu, I must get antibiotics. Because it's not going to help, guys. If you don't have the secondary infection, you don't have the secondary infection. Even if you took the antibiotics, it's really not going to help. Just take the over-the-counter and then go to the doctor if and when necessary.
What happens to prevention is better than cure?
100%. So every year, around April, we do have the flu vaccine, ENZY every year. Immunity lasts for about 6 months if unforeseen. So you can go to your nearest pharmacy and get the flu vaccine. It is available from about April in every year. So the batch of flu vaccines that were done for 2023 are still in the market. So it's June now. You can still go to the pharmacy. Unfortunately, you cannot get a flu vaccine if you already have flu. You get the flu vaccine beforehand.
Yeah.
Then you must give it 7 to 14 working days. 7 to 14 days, so 1 to 2 weeks before it starts to be effective. Actually, I took the flu vaccine, and then after 2 days, I got flu. So I got it from the vaccine. No, you must give the vaccine about 2 weeks before it is effective. So it's possible that you got the vaccine, but in that space, before it could become fully active, you unfortunately managed to get an infection.
Sure. Okay.
By saying all of that, I'm not discouraging people. I am, in fact, encouraging them to rather get the vaccine.
Okay. Let's talk about your medicine cupboard at home, or your home remedies, where we'll have all these mixtures of veg and all these mixtures. Let's talk garlic, let's talk honey, let's talk onion, let's talk all those concoctions that we this is started during the pandemic, and now it's like, okay, it is 7, so I'll boil my ginger root, I'll boil my onion, I'll boil my garlic and yonkers, and then I'll put that fizzy drink, ginger, and fag and chance and let med lemon, so that I can sweat it out. Let's talk about those. Lwanda, would you advise into bana siqhubekeke and yanke kuye kuthi ham and uyabila, you do sweat a bit because sweat it out, and once ubile uqomba right, you pijama yami manzi, and then you're good. Do you advise people to continue taking ezo zinto without seeing a doctor or a pharmacist? Ithini into ngoba sento uma uhlafuna wethu garlic, a clove of garlic and punge.
There is a theory that the immune system increases your body temperature in an attempt to suffocate a pathogen. The pathogen can be a virus, it can be a bacteria that is in your system. So that you are now developing a fever. It is in fact your own body trying to increase the temperatures to a point where that virus cannot survive, or that bacteria cannot survive. That's why you're getting a fever. Now, people have then extrapolated from this and said, oh, okay, which means if I can get myself into a hot space, then I think that's where it comes from, this sweating it out thing. Some people actually go to the gym in this attempt of sweating it out. This I discourage 200%. Do not go to the gym if you have flu. You will get more sick. You can even get a heart attack when it's bad. So if you have flu, stay at home. Don't go to the gym. I wanted to say, but after the secondary stage, some people actually go further and they might die from flu. It's very hard to imagine, and it's rare, but it's not very rare. It's rare, but it does happen. Okay. I think always speak to your pharmacist. And I just want to emphasize Landawe and Akondite, for most of the cases, we can pick a number and say 60% or 70%. We test it with or without treatment, these people will get better. So the problem here is we have someone who said, I drank coffee and I got better. No, you're going to get better anyway. No, I drank water with lemon. No, I drank water with garlic, with ginger and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that these things don't have some properties, you know, but let's not give them more than we should. So you are very sick, but you want to say, no, I'm going to drink gin and no. But we are cooler. I think that option is available for someone who just has symptoms, you know. When you get to a certain stage, please consult.
So, please consult. Sikhule ngepenkila ke thina ke sikhule ngepenpeni faketini uphunge uthini uthi somachiza ngoku khawudibane nabo and see bazawuthini na, and then before ube kanti uya ku secondary stage uye kugqirha wakho. Kodwa ke i-season ikhona yona okwethu, masizame ke nathi singazi expose kakhulu somachiza kwi emvuleni, kwi flu, you know, engqeleni kakhulu. That is why nami xa ndiphuma emnyango you akubani ndigodola inhloko ndijike ndiyonxiba umnqwazi ndingakhange ndicinga uba ndizawuphangela ndinxiba umnqwazi, because ndiyaziva into yobana eyi so siyayazi loo nto leyo, and nabantwana abangathanda unxiba masibanxibiseni. Somachiza, unayo into ofuna ukugqibezela ngayo sizoyivala?
Okay, so ikhona naleyo iphiri yakwantu ethi ungenwe
ewe nam ngafuna ungenwa inqwelo mandijike ndiyonxiba umnqwazi, and look at me, because I was like, polonek ndiyawunida today because ndiyaziva uba khona into.
We know that this virus thrives in cold conditions.
Sure.
Ihlala yonwabe ijuxuze iphathe xana indawo kubanda, yebo, kuthiwa nale-pandemic kwathiwa xa kubanda kuba mandi kuleya ivirus, nakuleni ivirus kunjalo. So once kubande iba ninzi in the air, so nayo uyifumana ngokuyiphefumla. Again, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, eyes and nose, sorry. So uyayiphefumla. Again, we want to kuyabanda abantu bazivalele vulani fethu mayinansi kumoya, no, eteksini lona uyaphefumla phambili after team iyahamba laa nto iyophefumlwa ngabanye. You know, let's have air circulation.
Nxiba mask,
especially logulayo. Once you have symptoms, please nxiba wena ugulayo to protect the others.
Okay, but ukuncedisana ne-immune system yakho uba mayisoloko ithe nkqi, uthi masime ngopheka ezaa zinto okanye ikhona indlela esinoncedisana ngayo uba mayisoloko ipha phezulwana, because immediately kuthiwa une-flu or fever ke njengoba usitsho iyadropha amajoni lawo umzimba, immune system yam iyabona ne. So ukuwagcina ke ngoyithe qoko, what do I do?
Vitamin C, vitamin D3, some zinc. You know, the usual rest, drink water.
Okay.
Those rest, drink water, and then drink your medicine.
All right, thank you so much. Baphulaphule, that's it for today. Siyayazi into yobana sincokola naye every Wednesday on a social crossover with Lhoza or Jam-based kwi-Kids Gesi Radio. It's Health Wednesday. Sincokola nayo Lwanda Kamkatshana, our resident pharmacist and registered pharmacist every Wednesday. Catch him again next week, Wednesday. Sabe sicokala ngomnye umba. Kodwa ke ngoku sibambe ngazo zibini phaa kwaba Silver Lab Healthcare abaqinisekisayo babasiphathela amayeza that are gentle on people but tough on germs. Somachiza, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Lhoza.
All right, that's Lwanda Kamkatshana njengoba senditshilo, masiye phaka kwa Silver Lab.
Want to boost your family's overall health and strengthen their immune system? Then choose Silver Lab Immune Booster Liquid as your preferred shield of protection against harmful germs and flu. Gargle, drink or nebulize Silver Lab Immune Booster Liquid to prevent and manage a wide variety of health conditions, including flu. Ideal for daily use by your whole family. Get Silver Lab Immune Booster Liquid now at leading pharmacies, health shops, retail outlets, and online stores.